I'm Jay Spenson. I've made knowledge. I make a bunch of things that I think should exist. And one of those things was I wanted to see what AI could do in ServiceNow when ServiceNow was gatekeeping it, keeping it behind talking to reps and all that other jazz. And so I went off and I made AI in a box. What is AI in a box? Initially, it was my thought of, man, uh, these customers, they probably don't want to have their AI stuff running in some random person's cloud somewhere across the world, maybe across country borders. But as I talked to more and more folks who were interested in it, who actually were interested in it, they didn't seem to really care where it ran. I mean, they care that it ran in their geographic area, but as long as they could use an OpenAI subscription or DeepSeek or Anthropic or whatever LLM provider, it it's fine. So, what is AI in a box? AI in a box is a way to connect your instance to a large language model where it doesn't lose connectivity over the wire. If you make a REST call to a large language provider and it takes over 30 seconds, ServiceNow stops listening for that response. If you do it server side, which is how you should do it to protect your keys. So AI in a box handles that in streaming of it. Let me throw up on the screen here what it looks like. I was unprepared, am unprepared for this. I was talking to my wife, like I should have something prepared just in the event that something like this occurs. But I was not prepared, am not prepared. So let me pull it on the screen. We've got 9 minutes here. I'm gonna make this bigger and I'm gonna go cinematic. That doesn't help. All right, I guess that's as good as it goes. So we'll make this much bigger. So AI in a box is an application, an update set you can install. Let's first look at that really quick. So if you go to getainabox.com, you click on this get started, and you can literally just go to this GitHub releases, download the update set right there, and that will get you up and working. You don't have to do anything else other than install the update set to try it out. I mean, to try it out, you have to go somewhere in the instance. But I have it installed here already. Once you've installed it, you'll have this AI in a box. There's this command center. I lied. There's one thing you have to do after you install it. Because of how when you have a large language model doing stuff for a user, it should only do things with that user's permissions. And to do that, you have to set up an account that can impersonate that user. There may be better ways to do this, but that's how I'm handling it today. When you first come in here, there's an option here that says, hey, tool calling isn't configured. To do this, press a button. A modal comes up and it walks you through setting up the user. It'll do it for you on the fly. You don't have to do anything except click like the 3 confirmation buttons. And that makes a user with admin role with a random password and sets of properties so that it can be used across the stuff. And then how does it work? Well, ServiceNow makes a REST call to the AI in a box server. You can self-host this. That's the paid thing. I'm not trying to pay it, but if you want to try it out in an instance, you can totally run it. What it does is ServiceNow makes a REST call to the AI in a box server. The AI in a box server then uses the OpenAI API calls to any large language model that supports the OpenAI specification. And then the large language model server responds, its chunks, and the AI in a box server handles those chunks and does stuff with it. What does that look like? Well, if I go to like an incident, look, an incident here, and I'm just going to go to open incidents. If this will load, there should be a little chat thing that comes up down here. And you can see you can talk with this and be like, hey, who made this incident? Or what should I do about this incident? And what this will do is it'll make an inference record, which can be seen and tracked and identifying what it is. We can see, hey, this incident, it's going to just talk through it. While this is running, I'm going to pull up another tab just to kind of show you under the hood where it works, because I think that is the most interesting part personally. So there's this inferences table. You can see that this is the record it's created. And you can see what it gave as a system prompt, all the information it had. You can see what tools were available. It didn't use any of them. But like if I were to ask it a question about like, hey, can I find a catalog item to order a phone or something, it'll use the search catalog to use that stuff. And you can build these tools out. So, right, you can see here, this is what it, so it gave some answers here. But if I said, I spoke to system admin, the caller, I spoke to the caller, they need a new phone. What, can you give me the links to order one? Right, and so what this is going to do, then it's going to make a second inference call with this chat history, because that's kind of how this stuff works. If I go back to this list here, so you can see here, it's get the same system prompt, but then you can see there's the original message, here's that thing, and here's this new message. And you see here, it's typing this stuff out as we speak with these specific links to these specific catalog items. And like, that is like the power of it. Yeah, I don't like workspaces. I want this to work in workspaces, and I had it working in workspaces, but to get it to work in workspaces, it's still something I'm working on still. But if you can enable like an overlay to make this happen, like that will work. It's just a matter of identifying what record you're on. But how do these tools work? So that's the next question, right? So getting these tools to work is a whole nother deal. So let's look at these tools, because I like to take the mystery out of this AI. So obviously it used the search catalog. So if I do a search catalog here, look at this. This search catalog tool definition has a description, and this description is important for these AI things. Right now I just have this for execute in ServiceNow. The idea is to let this execute on the AI in a box server or a mid server or some other place, but you define what you're going to give and what you're going to get back to the tool to see what it does. And then in here, you actually write the code that the tool executes. And just remember that when it executes as a person, it's going to be impersonating that person. So security controls should be controlled that way. And if you want to test this out, you can just click on this test tool button, and you can give it like the query. So if I said like business card or business, right? And I did a test tool, this doesn't use any AI. This is just literally running that code. You can see, oh, it's giving back this. Register a business application with short description and link and these different things. And I said, oh, well, we're on the service portal. Let's test this again. And then it changes the link to use the service portal links. So the tool, the AI, knows that it needs these things, some of them. David N wrote, shouldn't those use glide record queries? Shouldn't they be glide record secure? They should be. I made a mistake. They should be. So we can just change that, right? That's not a big deal. But the thing is you have the power to do that. There's nothing stopping you. So that's exactly how it ought to be. That's my AI in a box demo. You can try it for free. It's out there. It also, the pricing is kind of different than places. I know this is not supposed to be a whole shtick, but it is just $5K once and you own it, right? Or if you want support, $2K a month, or talk for more stuff. But I hope this was helpful. I hope you were watching this stuff. I'm also making interesting things. There's a new thing I'm working on called JSN, Jace's ServiceNow CLI client, because I was using it with open code to have it do stuff. I have 2 minutes. Do you guys want to see that too? Okay. I'm getting a lot of yeses. Give me a second here. This is way more technical, and I don't want to. I have 2 minutes. Let me change what I'm sharing. Bring to screen. You know what? I'm not gonna be able to get it. I'm not gonna be able to get it out there. But JSN is a CLI, runs on Go. You can just download the binary and run it. But the cool thing is you can install a skill on top of your Cloud Code or your open code or whatever thing you use. And if you use that, it'll know how to access all the things in your instance. Tables, records, it can display flows, it can create flows. It's pretty darn neat. It's different than Fluent because it doesn't use that weird abstraction stuff. That stuff is fantastic and great. But I hope you guys have a good rest of the session. I'll see you in the next one.